Ever feel like you're hitting a wall when trying to build a new habit?
Yeah, like you're motivated and then life just kind of gets in the way.
Exactly. You want to know how to power through those moments,
Get
right?
to the core of it without having to, do all that reading.
That's exactly what we're doing today. Diving into a really interesting idea about sticking with new habits.
Right.
And it all comes from a content creator's experience. They were doing a 90-day challenge, and we're looking specifically at what happened around day 32.
Okay, cool.
Our mission today is to really zero in on that turning point,
Right.
the one that often makes or breaks a habit.
It's interesting because I think what really stood out to me was just how common this experience is. Like, it doesn't matter if you're trying to exercise more or start writing or learn a new skill.
Yeah.
You almost always at this point where the initial excitement kind of fades and the resistance kicks in.
Yeah, it's like everyone goes through it.
This creator's experience really just highlights that universal human element of trying to build a new habit.
And the core idea is that anytime you're trying to establish a new habit, there's almost always going to be a time, maybe even a few times, when you just really, really don't feel like doing it.
Oh, yeah.
We've all been there, right?
Absolutely.
That internal battle where your brain throws every excuse in the book at you.
A million reasons to skip it just for today.
And that's where this idea of a point of no return comes in.
Right. It's not about the habit suddenly becoming easy.
Right.
It's more about that moment when you just want to quit more than anything. When you feel the strongest urge to give up.
Like the creator said, and I'm paraphrasing here, but there will be a time when you really, really won't feel like doing it, but like really, really won't feel like doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's break this down.
Okay.
This point of no return isn't about suddenly loving the habit.
No.
It's that moment when you make the choice to do it anyway.
Despite all of that resistance.
Even when it's really hard.
That's the key.
Is there actually any science to back up the idea that this moment is so important?
Oh, definitely. If you think about it from a broader perspective, this idea of consistently engaging in the habit, especially when it's hard, it actually strengthens the neural pathways in your brain that are associated with that habit.
Interesting.
It's kind of like forging a new trail.
Okay.
The more you walk it, even when it's rough going, the clearer and easier that path becomes over time, and eventually it takes less effort to travel.
I like that analogy.
And that's what's happening in your brain.
But here's where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
The creator suggests that when you choose to act, even though you're facing that huge resistance, something actually changes inside you. And I'm translating here, but they said, from the moment you chose to act, no matter what, and do it anyway, you became a new person. You are no longer the same person you were before.
Wow, that's powerful.
It really is.
It really speaks to this idea of identity.
Right.
It's like when you push through that big resistance, you're not just completing a task.
You're changing how you see yourself.
You're telling yourself through your actions that I'm the type of person who follows through, even when it's tough.
Yeah.
So, for example, someone who's struggling to exercise regularly might force themselves to do a really hard workout.
Right.
And after they've done it, they might start to actually see themselves as an active person.
It changes their self-image.
Exactly.
So what does this mean for our listeners as they're working on building their own habits?
Well,
Based on the creator's experience, successfully navigating that moment of intense resistance isn't just about getting through a difficult day. It can really increase the chances of that habit actually sticking around for the long haul. It's like once you've made that conscious choice to push through, the habit has a much stronger foundation.
it's more likely to become a part of who you are.
And this brings up an interesting question for you listening.
Okay.
Can you think of a time when you really wanted to give up on a new habit,
But you didn't?
but you chose to keep going?
It's worth thinking about.
Reflecting on those times can give you a lot of insight into how you build habits.
And, you might face that resistance multiple times.
Yeah.
But that first time when you consciously choose to act despite it, that's often what really solidifies the habit.
So to sum it all up,
Okay.
the big takeaway is to remember that it's normal to experience a dip in motivation.
Yeah. There will be times when you just don't want to do it.
But it's in those moments when you consciously decide to act anyway that you often cross that point of no return and the habit becomes stronger.
And it's not just about the habit itself.
Right.
Think about how pushing through that resistance changes how you see yourself in relation to that habit.
It's not just about the behavior.
It's about the kind of person you're becoming.
That's a powerful thought to leave you with.
It is.
Think about your own efforts to build new habits. When have you faced that moment of intense resistance? Or when do you think you might face it? And how might pushing through that moment change the way you see yourself?
Some good questions to ponder.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Always a pleasure.